Hey everybody, welcome to the weekend. Hope you're all well. Now, this video is probably going to be the final video I do unless there's going to be some like amazing damage or interaction with 5-star Scarlet Witch. I've had a bit more time to play about with her, take her into a few more modes, and as well just going to really get an idea and cast my thoughts of whether or not I feel this is going to be a pivotal and as well vital aspect to my roster, especially for stuff like Act 6 and as well when it comes to like content like Alliance Quest, Alliance Wars, Breathe, and variants, incursions, and also just general questing and future content. The champion is still super fun, but there are a lot of elements to RNG and chance which give the best part of the abilities. I will be showcasing some examples. We'll be getting some highlight footage in a moment that basically will go okay. Well, scenarios where I'm going into this month's Cavalier, where there's a prowess bonus for champions, and this champion does 230,000 damage, I kid you not, in an interaction. That is not something that's going to be a month in, month out. That kind of interaction could be seen in the likes of incursions, but in this scenario, again, everything has to play into place. Largely with the signature ability, which I have at 128 currently at the point of recording this video. But here's the thing, like, it's only a 67% for a buff to be triggered or debuff to be triggered when a critical is done. So a critical hit is done, you see a big yellow number, then boom, you get a lovely little buff or debuff on the enemy. It could be beneficial to you, could be detrimental to the enemy. But here's the thing, you want to see in any given scenario cruelty buff pop up, and as well you want to see fury buff, and if you're low on health you want to see that regen pop up. And again, that'll be something that we'll talk about, sustainability going from fight to fight, and how, well, it's all a game of chance. It's a super fun champion, but everything is based on chance. Now, from a content grinding perspective, yes, there are some interactions in the likes of Act 6 where she's great for, but then there's others where it just goes down to the specific nature of how Act 6.3, Act 6.2 and Act 6.4 just give this, well, it's not always a one-size-fits-all scenario. And as well, attack ratings, damage through blocks occasionally can be a bit overkill, even with the nerf of some of these things. It's just not great, and it's just not there. And in the future, will she be useful in Book 2 Act 1? Possibly, but there will be always limitations to certain node creations, interactions and stuff like that, which would make her, well, not particularly brilliant, but still there will be times where she's really fun. Cavalier difficulty, in particular this month's Cavalier difficulty, as Kabam have put something which is just up here, which is Mystic Consumption, where prowess buffs can be gained when you're fighting and interacting on the paths, not on the boss, which is annoying, but it is what it is. This is mainly to help out the likes of the 4-stars be ramped up to take on the content, and as well I'll be showcasing some footage from Cavalier, Uncollected, and as well a few other types of scenarios where she's quite effective and gains some decent stuff. Amazing buffs. Look, as I said, you get the fury buffs up, you get the cruelty buffs up, you then smash in with an SP2. Tasty damage. If you've seen some of my recent content, you'll know that she's incredibly fun for incursions. AQ and AW is a bit of a difficult one, as lanes are specific based on whatever's on it for whatever time that you're grinding. So for example, I'm using Warlock, Beardo and Archangel, and that's just based on my interactions with the champions I've got. I can't say she is part of the main team, as that always needs to change. You don't know who you're going to be facing off against, and you'll have to really box clever with the nodes. It's not going to say like, okay, well, Havoc's always going to be on that same node that I go on my path. It's not going to be the case. And there will be mini bosses that you'll have to or possibly take down, which will need some different interaction than just hoping for critical hits, RNG and stuff like that. Especially if you're going against, say, okay, it was the last champion you've got and you're going against Invisible Woman, which does limit your critical hits. It's not great. But as well, when it comes to Alliance Quest, maybe more value I think in the lower ones like map 6 and map 5, but only if you are having specific interactions. Like most of my paths on map 6 are poison paths, so I need poison immunity champions, as otherwise it's not going to work. So that again is the same problem that you'd experience. So from a sustainability, usability standpoint, she does have specific nature to what kind of content it she'll be applicable for. But I think for an event quest, like a monthly event quest, she will probably be one of my go-tos. With Cavalier being the way it is, and as well when Uncollected, I think in Uncollected she's going to be able to blitz through. I think with Cavalier she may struggle at times, and especially with Kabam's 4-star challenge, maybe that I'll use a 4-star version of her. Possibly. I just don't know. It depends how Kabam do it month in, month out. But in any case, let's roll some footage and talk about the champion's interactions as we see it on the screen. Okay, kicking off at the moment, we have got a fight with Spider-Man. This is from an Act 6.2 fight. What I really wanted to see is, first of all, with the crits, how consistent we were with the pop-up. Now, again, this is based on RNG factors and as well the signature ability of the champion. 67% isn't 85%, which is what you get from 200 signature. But here's the thing. I wanted to see damage output. I wanted to see as well damage through the block. I did actually want to take damage as well at some point to kind of figure out, through the block that is, the extent of like damage through the block that could mean that, look, am I going to be regenning from fight to fight? But the block proficiency seemed to hold up. And that was the thing. Look, this is a very weird interaction in any case, as you could expect at any time for the enemy to evade. If the champion evades, you're going to get clapped. But as well, what is the SP2 damage rate? The basics are trash, but what you want to see is the ping up of the SP2, which is what we're going to build up now in this instance against this champion, and it gives me some element of hope that I could take this champion into further Act 6.2. Not so much all of it, as it's gate specific, unless it was a Mystic ×3 to take in, but then there's other Mystics that are equally good, if not better. Black Widow Clairvoyant is more sustainable. And now this is into an Act 6.4 fight. This is actually, I think, 6.4.6, and this is on the lane with Tenacity and a Fury build-up. And there's a lot of cosmics on there, which is kind of cool for the class advantage. But as well, if you want to do any kind of like parries, therein lies the problem. This interaction was kind of cool, especially as it just seemed to be like I was critting all over the place. That was good, but again, that 85% versus the 67% comes in, as I was critting a few times, but nothing was popping up. That was a nice, tasty 33k SP2. Man, it's amazing. It's definitely validating when you see that extensive amount of damage, but as well, you know, parry heavy in this kind of like, oh no, sorry, parrying is not really there based on tenacity, but still, it's impressive to see in this particular fight interaction. Smashing a nice SP2, boom, there we go, nice. It is nice as well. I make a mistake there, but the fact is, as soon as I smash in that SP2, rolls low with the basic, and that happens from time to time. You end up going white and basic with this kind of like interaction, and it's disappointing. You want to see big yellow numbers all the time. That's the thing. That's what I want to see, big yellow numbers. I kind of made a mince of this now. I'm kind of like, it's just mincemeat. I should have been better with that fight interaction, but it doesn't matter. This is important. This showcases, so I went into a fight with low health, which I needed to do. I needed to see if I got regens, how consistent they would be if they popped up. Are they based on RNG? What are the factors? How much can I regen back? So first of all, I get lucky. I get a regen first off. My health is mounting up very quickly against this Crossbones fight. I'm going to smash in an SP2 in a minute, but I get another regen, which is great. So I'm thinking to myself, right, I'll back off. I'm gathering back 422 a time, which isn't too bad. I've gone from 15% now up to 61% health, which is amazing. And funnily enough, as soon as I hit the last hit of the game, I get a crit and regeneration pops up right there, and a cruelty at the same time, which would have been amazing to catapult my health back up. That was an Uncollected fight, by the way. This one is a Black Bolt fight in Uncollected as well. We're going to showcase some Cavalier in a second, but yeah, like getting those stuns up, and I'm just like rapidly putting in the damage, 32k popping up. Love that. I thought that was amazing fun, and it proves that this champion is an amazing quester. Yes, okay, maybe not so much of Act 6, but there you go. It's still a great champion. Now we're on to Kamala Khan. Kamala Khan in Cavalier difficulty this month. We're building up those prowess, and let's face it, if you've got prowess, then you're going to spank with a huge amount of damage. This SP2 coming up is going to showcase that. Massive 160k damage right there. Loads of health from that champion has been eliminated, and a 4-star version of this champion would be pretty cool to interact. But it's not the best that you're going to see, and I'm looking forward for this next bit of footage against Nebula. But still, that prowess building, the debuffs are pinging up quite nicely. If we had some kind of like critical rating booster, I think the champion would be great. But if you've seen my incursions video, you know how this champion can be amplified to be so much more than it is from damage output. Again, we're building up prowess with against Nebula now, and this is when you're going to see some spicy damage. Not by the first L2, it's going to be the second time I do an L2. Well, actually, it looks like I don't even do a first L2. This is go straight to an L3. The advantage with the SP3 is that you're able to nullify a lot of the effects on buffs on the champion that may be there. But this is the thing, it's not really the be-all and end-all. Yeah, the SP3 put a good amount of damage based on the prowess booster, but the SP2 has got that critical rating increase. As soon as you hit off that SP2, you're going to see the big yellow numbers. I want the big yellow numbers. I want you to see the big yellow numbers. And in a moment, you're definitely going to see that. This is good as well with the champion is building up any kind of buffs, and the champion is nullifying. So Scarlet Witch is nullifying as we go through, and as well we're building. Nice little intercept there, and then in a moment, get ready. Here it comes. Boom! 253,000 damage. Incredible damage. And just nice to see. Not super sustainable unless the interaction is there. Interaction is that prowess passive that pops up and as well stacks to 20. Otherwise, in any other kind of interaction, it would just be hope for the best when it comes to that SP2. And if you had a Fury buff and a Cruelty buff on, chances are you damage output to about 40k plus. At times I've seen a lot more, but you need that amplified a lot more for that. So maybe if you've got champions that give power gain improvements to Scarlet Witch, then you might see more of a rapid succession of SP2s, massive succession of damage. So yeah. It's a great champion. I don't know if it's the be-all and end-all, the god tier that could be used in every piece of content like Doctor Doom, Omega Red, and so many others to Nick Fury. You can be like saying at home, oh, this person is... There's loads of champions that would be better for a lot of situations, and Scarlet Witch is one of those. Feels like a trophy, is still a goddess, but at the same time, I'm going to use this a lot more in questing, and especially this month in Cavalier, with that final booster for Mystic Champions, building that prowess. So yeah, I'm all for that. In any case, thank you very much for watching this video. Check out some recent content up there, check out some other stuff down here, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye-bye.